Good morning, Soul Tribe. I'm back on here to drop another video. I did a video this morning, but I don't know if I'm going to drop it. I think I should. I don't want to drop it because I'm a very private person when it comes to my personal life. And so I don't like to put too much out there when it comes to my personal life because I am private. And I keep my personal life private. But as far as this video, I wanted to do story time and share with you guys some of the things that I did throughout the journey to heal. I wanted to talk about self-reflecting, doing the self-help and self-care work to heal. What it took me to get to where I'm at in life as far as my healing goes, as far as being more aware of who I am as a woman, what I stand for, what I represent, setting healthy boundaries, how I got to that place. So I think this video is just going to be story time. So going back, I had a rough childhood. Early ages. I say from I don't know about 1 or 3. I'd say from 5 years old. That's when I can remember encountering a rough stage, and it was only for a little while. So, however, that age and that stage was rough, and that was part of my mother's journey, and her journey was pure hell in the beginning. It really was. Initially, it was good, and then she encountered a guy, and she went through a lot. She went through a lot, and we watched her go through a lot, and we endured a lot as her children. And then my mother met my stepdad, and that's when we had a beautiful life. My stepfather was amazing, treated my mother well. But my biological father was military, and so was my stepdad. So I have military upbringing, which gives me the tenacity, the strength, the drive, the determination, the motivation that I have, as well as the strict morals, values, my integrity, my dignity. I gained all of that from my upbringing. So I don't know no other way but to get it out the mud and to work hard for what I want in life, and not to just sit down and, settle for less. So that had a lot to do with the woman that I am on today. And I thank God for my uncles, because like my mother, when she got with my stepfather, it was like my mother has like 13 siblings alone herself. So I had a plethora of uncles and aunts before the blending of my mother and my stepfather, before the blending of the family. And so when they got together and they blended the family, I had a plethora of uncles and aunts who poured into me, as well as my mother and my father. And I thank God for my upbringing. My grandmother, my mother's mother, and her father, who was a pastor, had a lot to do with my upbringing as well. And my grandmother, which is, this story is going to probably blow a lot of people's mind, but my grandmother on my father's side had a lot to do with my upbringing as well. So why I say I'm spiritual and I just claim to be spiritual now is because my religion was chose for me. And I'll go into that. That's a whole nother topic of a story. But however, my mother was Baptist. My grandmother was Catholic. I had an aunt who was Methodist. I had an uncle who was Pentecostal. So then I had an aunt who was an Eastern Star. an uncle who was a Shriner, and then I had an uncle who was a Mason, a Freemason. So there you have it. And here's what I'll say about that. What I loved about that upbringing, what I loved about it was the fact that although all that was mixed in, from different beliefs, different practices, I got to experience all of that, and everybody's different beliefs and systems and practices. And they poured a lot into me knowledgeably. But with that being said, they never forced their belief system on one another. It was a beautiful family dynamic because they could always discuss matters. They could always discuss political issues. And where there was differences of agreement, they would agree to disagree respectfully. Where there was different opinions for religious practices and religious beliefs, they could respectfully agree to disagree respectfully. And then not on every topic did they disagree. They could like, well, I could see why, you would feel that way, or you would think that way, or your belief would be such. They didn't always disagree, but they could. In other words, there was a medium and a level of respect for what each other chose to practice, chose to believe in, and nobody enforced it upon one another. Nobody forced it down their throat. Nobody, tried to debo nobody to move a certain kind of way. They just respect and loved one another for who they simply was. That's what I was raised and brought up on. And nobody judged one another. And it was all love. I'm talking about respectful kind of love. It was peaceful. So I said all that to say this on today. Be who you are. Authentically who you are. And I'm this way. I come from people who have come from all walks of life. People who have practiced it, who have practiced, and I'm sorry, y'all, my back is killing me, who have practiced different belief systems, but yet respect one another and they blend it in. It wasn't because you believe in that, I'm going to stay over here, you stay over there, and we can't talk, and we can't kumbaya, we can't get along. None of that. I'll say this back for the time back in the day. Back in the day, that's when people were real grown, honey. They was on some real mature grown folks' time. And they just like how I was saying, God had dropped it in my spirit to just be, that we ought to just be. In other words, just be who you are authentically, without having to explain in depth who you are, without having to go the extra mile to appease people with their practices and their beliefs. Come on. It don't make no sense to me in this day and time. It really doesn't. It doesn't. And people are so quick in this day and time to pass judgment. People are so quick to look at the speck in your eye before they look at the plank in theirs. They'll point your plank. Look, They'll point your speck out and throw their plank in your eye with the speck. You're like, wait a minute. I just had a speck. So you said now I got a speck and a plank. Make it make sense. Who are we to judge? Who are we to judge anybody? And I wish I want to drop that video, but I got a little bit too personal. Because I was telling a story about how I can go to an upscale lounge, upscale setting, and blend in with the best of the best. Knowledgeably. Respectfully, cordially, civilly. And can have and hold any kind of conversation. And when I used to go out, I could go to Ann Hole in the Wall and blend right on in. Blend in. I would blend in without judging anyone and have a good time. That's why I had some of my best times at the hole in the wall, or the holes in the wall, or the backyard barbecues, or sitting under the shade tree with some of the, as they call them, old heads. Who are we to judge? Who are we to judge? I don't meet no stranger. And I said all this to say what the world needs now, and I keep saying it, and it is such a cliche to say. But what the world needs now is, more than ever, is love. You got some people out here that can see homeless people and will pass them up and have a pocket full of money. You got some people out here who will see homeless people on the flip side of that coin and bless them. And even get out and embrace them and hug them. Oh, I stink, I smell. So do I. Come on. Well, you smell good and so do you. Granted your situation, you got to be able to love on people and encourage them in any kind of situation. If you call yourself a child of God, or you call yourself a universal worker, I don't know anything about the universal and all of that. I'm just saying, you call yourself an encourager, or if you call yourself an influencer, I'll say that. But yet, everything you do and say reflects low vibrations, negativity, pointing out somebody's flaws, then you are doing a disservice. This sounds like you need to heal. Sound like you need to heal. Because see, here it is. You can't heal the unhealed if you are unhealed. And I'm saying that because I had to check myself. I do self-evaluations and analyzations on a daily. And so that's what I gathered. I had to check myself. I had to check myself. And you better believe sometimes I go back and play these videos and I take my own advice. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Here it is. We all on borrowed time. And everybody got a gift from God. Everybody got gifts from God. Everybody got a purpose in this life. But you have to choose to tap into it. You have to choose to apply it for the betterment of you and those around you. If you utilize your gifts in a negative light, then you are doing yourself and everybody else a disservice. How can anybody look to you to get encouragement? A lot of times, influencers or people in general, get bothered by people watching their videos, get bothered by people coming up to them, get bothered by people trying to talk to them. Why are you bothered when you wanted to be in position? Why are you bothered when you took on the mission? That comes with the territory, don't it? If we call ourselves wanting to be of service and heal people, don't that come with the territory? Shouldn't we be guiding them in the way that we ought to go? And we ourselves would want to go, and we ourselves would want somebody else to guide us and lead us in? Help me understand. Or correct me where I'm wrong. Correct me where I stand to be overstood and corrected. If I'm wrong, correct me where I'm wrong. I said all that to say this. When doing the self-work, you are going to get people who say you've changed. And some will say it from a positive light. Some will say it from a negative light. You got to be okay with receiving both constructive criticism as well as destructive criticism. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, regardless of whether it is constructive or destructive criticism, they notice the change. That means you've done the work. Change has come about. And see, nothing changes if nothing changes. And in order for there to be change, you got to be willing to do the work. That's the only way anything changes, by doing some kind of adjusting, some kind of work to create change. It's not going to do it. Nothing happens on its own. Nothing happened on its own. So, don't be offended if people say, I don't even know you anymore. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. That means get to know the woman that I am on today. Get to know the man that I am on today. If you don't know me anymore, that means you need to, get to know me. And I'm not saying get to know the new me. Oh, that's so cliche. There is no new me. Get to know the evolved, matured, developed me from the work that I've put in and the healing work that I've done on myself. People will come to find they're going to love the old version of you, but they'll come to find that they'll love the new version of you even more. Yeah. So I said all that to say on today. I said all that to say on today. No matter what you encounter, no matter what you face, no matter what people's version and opinion of you are, keep doing the work. Keep working on you. And every day ain't gonna be a good day. We human. We're only human. Yes, I'm of love and light. Yes, I want to see everybody high-fiving, but that's not real life. That's not realistic. Every day ain't gonna be a good day. But you can find something good in every day. And I say this about that. Don't let a moment or a bad moment in that day ruin your whole entire day. It's just a moment. Learn how to do like the song say, that old song the Williams brothers sang. It's a oldie but goodie. Shake it off and pack it under your feet. When people lie on you, when people scandalize you, shake it off and pack it under your feet. When people leave you, shake it off and pack it under your feet and be okay. Some people were only meant for a season, and that's okay. And just because it was only for a season, you may have been just meant for a season in their life. And just because it was just for a season, don't mean there has to be beef or an issue. And you can reflect on what hurt you. I advise you to. And then purge it and get rid of it. But in order, people get angry. And I'm going to say this. Let me say this, and then I'm going to follow up. In order to heal it, you have to speak on it. You have to talk about what ailed you. If not, guess what? You're covering up a wound with a Band-Aid that need to breathe in order to heal. And if you don't ever take the Band-Aid off, that wound will not heal. And then 9 times out of 10, it'll get infected and make you sick, right? Right. So you got to rip that Band-Aid off and let it breathe. In other words, undress it and address it. And you all, I got some more business I got to take care of, but I'm going to continue to drop these videos because I'm so over the individuals who's so quick to point out your sin because you sin so differently than them. And I'm here to tell y'all on this channel, I love you all. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're straight. I don't care if you're bi. I don't care if you're bi-curious. I don't care if you're black. I don't care if you're white. I don't care if you're purple. I don't care if you're green. I love you all. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to ever get in the boat, and I advise you all not to jump in that boat and rock the boat with those who want you to go in depth to explain who you are. When who you are just speaks for itself. When you authentically you, and you are just being genuinely you. Again, I know people from all walks of life, and I love them deeply. Even those who betrayed me, I love them all. I still love them. It just hurt me. And I'm still healing, and that's okay. And that's okay. And so, baby, sis, bruh, trust me, you, we, me. It's okay if you still are affected by the things that hurt you. You're human. And if it hurt, let it hurt until you can heal. It's a process. It's a process. And nobody has the right to tell you how long it should take for you to heal. Nobody. Take your time and address the things and heal wholeheartedly. So when you release it in love, you cool on that thing. You don't even want to talk about it. And I got to a place like that with my sister-in-law. I took the time to heal. By the time me and her came back together to talk, she wanted to reiterate on some of the things we had gone through. Some of the things that tore the relationship up. I said, baby, sis, I love you. And that's all you need to know. I forgive you. And I ask for you to forgive me too, because guess what? It starts with you. Ain't none of us perfect. Just as well as she hurt me, you better believe I know I hurt her too. But it takes one being strong enough, mature enough, big enough to say, I can take accountability for my wrong. And once I do that, if I've done that, once we come together, I don't need for you to break down what it was, why it was what it was, how you wrong. I don't need that, baby. And I'm not going to do it for you. What I'll do is let you know all is genuinely forgiven. Why would we talk about it? It's just, that's hurt. We don't have to pick up hurt again. Once you put that hurt down, let it go and leave it there, baby. My sister, when she saw me, she said, are you for real? I'm dead serious, love. I love you. And sisters have outs and they fall out. But at the same time, the love never ends. So I said all that to say, y'all, find y'all somebody today that y'all can pour into and that y'all can love on. And be authentically you. I don't, look, here it is. I'm going to say it again. Matthew 7, chapter 7, verse 3. Check it out. What that song say? Sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. What it say? You'll find some fault too. In other words, you'll find some fault in you before you find fault in me if you sweep around your own front door. You got some work to do too while you pointing out the work I got to do. Amen. That's all, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. I gotta go. I'm out of here. I'm gonna drop all these videos, baby. I'm coming for what God has promised me. And prosperity and abundance is all of ours. We just have to do the work. Faith without works is dead. Faith without works is dead. We got to do the work. We have to do the work. I love y'all on purpose. Y'all have a blessed day.